Hello everyone, Reza here. In this video, we will learn all about agent flows in Microsoft Copilot Studio. We will build an agent flow from scratch, leverage its powerful capabilities, be it AI actions, be it human-in-the-loop approvals, and more. See how agents and agent flows can work together to create enhanced agentic and automation experiences and more. So let's check this video out in action. Introducing agent flows in Microsoft Copilot Studio. What are agent flows? Agent flows are intelligent, deterministic workflow automations. Since they are deterministic, this ensures that tasks always run consistently. It can be enhanced with AI actions, and you can integrate AI-driven intelligence to handle complex scenarios. Agents are intelligent entities designed to perform tasks independently and make decisions based on predefined goals. Agent flows are built to automate deterministic workflows, and coupling agents and agent flows together in Copilot Studio, we get the benefits of both. In Microsoft Copilot Studio, we have agent flows. And we have two options to build these agent flows. We can simply describe our needs to Copilot and our agent flow will be orchestrated for us. Or we can create the agent flow from scratch. For the demo, I'll show a combination of both. I'll begin creating my agent flow by simply describing what I need to Copilot. Let's take a use case. My IT department has a help desk system that's built in SharePoint. Users in my organization can come in and raise issues to the help desk team. They can define the title of the issue, description, and select the appropriate issue category. Once the issue is created, I need a deterministic workflow. Based upon the issue category, my organization has a different process to address the issues that are recorded in the help desk portal. In the agent flow, I'll simply describe my needs. When a new item is created in a SharePoint list, send an email to the creator of the item, add a condition to check the issue category, and I have 3 categories in my system: hardware problem, network connectivity, or I need a new laptop. For each category, I would like to do something different. For category 1, send an email. For category 2, send a Teams notification. And for category 3, let's start an approval process. I'll click submit. And now an agent flow will be recommended for me based upon my description that I have provided. An AI may provide multiple recommendations. Here is one version that it's recommending. Here is the second version. This one looks more in line with my needs. I will say keep it and continue. Next, it will set up all the connections. These are all the connectors that the flow will be utilizing. I'll say create. And this will bring me straight into the designer experience for agent flows. Now, for each of the actions in the agent flow, I can start setting their properties. When an item is created for my IT site in my help desk list, this agent flow will trigger. Then it's trying to get the user profile of the person who created the item. Next, it sends an email to the person who created the item. The subject, your help desk request has been received. And in the body, hello, and put the display name of the user coming from the get user profile action. This is to inform you that your ticket has been created and is currently being processed. I'll plug in the ticket ID that will come from the dynamic content ID property from the when an item is created trigger action. Then comes the switch condition. I want to check the issue category. So switch on issue category value since it's a choice column. First category is hardware problem. Second, network connectivity. And third, new laptop. Now, when a hardware problem occurs, I simply want to send an email to my IT support team. I'll pick the IT support mailbox. A new hardware issue has been reported, and in the email body, I can put details around the issue reported by the user. For network connectivity, my process requires a notification in a Microsoft team channel. I'll post in a channel. I'll pick the team that needs to be notified. That's my super team in the general channel. And here I can put details about the issue description, who reported it, and more. Agent flows by design are solution aware flows, and that gives us additional advantages like we can save the flow as draft, we can publish when ready, we get a full version history. With agent flows, we can use AI actions. We have a column that tracks the priority of the issue. By default, the priority set is none. Now, how about we add Gen AI capability to read the issue description and determine the priority of the issue? To do this, right after the flow triggers, we can bring in AI capabilities. From document processing to text processing to language recognition, we can also run generative actions. And in this scenario, let's run something known as an AI prompt. So I'll select run a prompt. Here, I'll create a new custom prompt. Firstly, I'll give this prompt a name. I'll call it determine priority for help desk issue. I can provide instructions to my prompt. Even the instructions, I can leverage Copilot to help me create that prompt. Analyze the given issue description and help define the priority as low, medium, or high. I'll hit submit, and Copilot will help draft a prompt for me, which I can keep and further modify as needed. Here it dynamically creates a property called issue description. Here I can add some sample data for testing purposes. I have an issue with network connectivity and is impacting my ability to be productive at work. Let's go ahead and test this out. Here's AI prompt in action. Priority level, medium. Let's change this. I've raised the criticality level in my description. Test. And now priority high. This uses GPT-4o Mini, that's the default model. You can pick different GPT models. One feature I love about AI prompts is the output that it generates, you can also have it generate JSON output. Let's test this. The prompt is ready. I'll save it. And now I can use this AI prompt in my agent flow. Here's my agent flow running the prompt. That's the name of my prompt. The input, issue description is what the prompt expects. From dynamic content, I'll pick issue description coming from SharePoint. This prompt will provide the output, which will include the priority. The output is JSON. So guess what? Agent flows already understands that. Let's go to send an email. The priority I will set as dynamic content priority available coming from the run a prompt action. And right before sending the email, I will go ahead and update that SharePoint item. The item in my help desk list, ID coming from the trigger. I'll click show all. I want to update the priority value. It's a choice column. Instead of hard coding, I'll say enter custom value, go to dynamic content and pick priority, dynamic content coming from the run a prompt action. And this will have one of those three values, low, medium, or high. Where a user requests a new laptop, I need approvals. I want a two-step approval process. I want the approval to go first to the requester's manager. And if the manager approves, only then it should go to the procurement team. Now, orchestrating these types of workflows, we have options by using our standard approvals connector. But with agent flows, we get additional superpowers like advanced approvals. If you search for advanced approvals, here we see a new connector action called human in the loop start and wait for an advanced approval. You can set up advanced multi-stage approvals to streamline your complex approval processes. Let's try this out. I'll set up an approval. Here I can define the stages. Stage 1, manager approval. Stage 2, procurement admin approval. You can also add conditions here and accordingly take action. Go to step 1, go to step 2, or just end the approval as approved or rejected. Extremely powerful scenarios can be created here. For my case, 2-step. Manager approval. I'll pick first to respond. I'll say a new laptop request has been created by. Here, to add inputs, we have different types of inputs that we can select. I'll pick string. I'll create a string called username. To place that username value here, the format is $, curly braces, the name of that input property. Assign to, I'll switch to dynamic content. I'll use one called user email that I will create right now. That's another input. For details, I'll create another one called request details. So that's the first approval. Then it will go to the procurement admin for approval. This one, I'll use the same title, my admin. So I'll pick Reza. And in the details, I'll put the request details. Done. Just like that, I orchestrated a multi-stage approval workflow. And notice how the properties, the input properties that I set are right here. I need to pass the username. That's the display name of the user who created the item. The user email. I'll pick their email. Request details. Here I'll enter the issue description. Right after this, I will add a condition to check the outcome of the approval. Since it's multi-staged, if the outcome does not contain reject, all approvers said approve, then I will go and update the item in SharePoint. When I update, I'll set the status to completed. And if it fails, the false condition, I'll update the item status to rejected. The profile that I'm grabbing is of the person who created the request. The approval needs to go to the user's manager. We have an action called get manager. Here all I need to provide is the email of the user who created the request. So go and grab their manager. When I'm calling the advanced approval, the mail here needs to be the mail of the user's manager. Publish. The agent flow is published and ready to go. I'll create a new help desk request. I've entered my issue title and description. I'll pick the category as new laptop and submit my request. The status of this request is new. My flow gets triggered. Notice the priority changes to high. I receive an email notification. Ticket ID is 7, priority is high. Here is my agent flow that is currently running. My manager would have now received the approval task. My manager is Sarah. Here's the approval task. Sarah approves it. Once Sarah approves, it's a multi-stage approval. The next approval goes to the procurement admin, that's Reza. Here is the approval action. I'll approve this. And since both the actions are approved, the agent flow moves ahead and updates the status of the item in the data source to complete it. Now, the key thing to note about agent flows is, how does the licensing angle work? These flows, every time they are run, every action that the flow executes requires capacity, and these will be your Copilot Studio message pack capacity. You can use any premium connector of your choice in agent flows. No Power Automate premium license is required. This agent flow, if you look at the plan that's associated with this flow, it's Copilot Studio. So it will use the Copilot Studio capacity every time the flow is run. If I head over to Power Automate in that same environment and go to my flows, my agent flows will be available right here as well. The key aspect is the plan, which is Copilot Studio. If you notice in my Power Automate environment here, I have two flows. The second flow is not an agent flow. That's because the license plan is not Copilot Studio. But if you would like to make any Power Automate flow an agent flow, where you want to change the license plan to be consumption based, or you would like to take the benefits of advanced capabilities like human in the loop approvals and more, all we have to do, head over to Edit and change the primary owner to Copilot Studio. This you can only do if your flows are built in solutions. You can change the license plan to Copilot Studio. And once you do this, this flow now becomes an agent flow. The plan is Copilot Studio. Observe, in Microsoft Copilot Studio, when I look at agent flows for this environment, now this flow also shows up. Now, agent flows, I can also trigger them from topics in agents. Here, I have a simple vacation request agent in which I have a custom topic called check leave balance. The agent will ask a question to the user to enter their employee ID. That employee ID is what I would like to use to go and inquire about my leave balance. We can leverage agent flows. Here I can add a tool and say new agent flow This takes me to the agent flow designer. And notice the trigger of the flow is when an agent calls the flow. You can think about these as reusable flows that I can call them from multiple agents. I'll pass the employee ID as a number input parameter to this flow. Next step, using that employee ID, I'll go and get my leave balance. I'll say get item. In my HR site, I have a leave balance list. The ID will be the employee ID property that will be passed from the agent to the agent flow. This will get the item, and the response would also be a number. This would be the leave balance. Get item, actions, dynamic property is leave balance. Done. Publish. My agent flow is ready. I'll say go back to the agent. This takes me back in context to my topic. Here, it will fire an action to call that flow. That's my agent flow. Requires the employee ID, my variable called employee ID, and the output variable is going to be the leave balance. The message response that I want the agent to provide is the leave balance for the given employee ID is variable. I'll pick leave balance, save. Let's test this agent. I need to check the leave balance. Please provide the employee ID to check the leave balance. I'll say employee ID 2. For employee ID 2, that's Sarah, there's a leave balance of 20. The agent calls the agent flow, which performs the action and sends the response back. The leave balance is 20. Autonomous agents, agents that can handle a process end-to-end autonomously. Here, I have a device request agent. The knowledge for this agent, I have a couple of tables in Dataverse that has details about devices that my organization has procured and device requests that users can make. Under tools or actions, I have an action to send an email. And under triggers, I have a trigger when a new email arrives. This is also an agent flow. To make your agents autonomous, you can add triggers to your agent. The agent needs to have generative orchestration enabled. When you click Add Trigger, this is where you can pick triggers. In my case, I already picked one trigger, which is when a new email arrives. So when a new email arrives in a mailbox that has the following subject, go ahead and send a prompt to the specified copilot for processing. And the prompt should include the content from the body of the email. That's my agent flow. In the instructions for the agent, I have specified that when a new email arrives with the subject line device request info, the agent should begin by extracting the user query from the email body. The agent must then search within these data sources to find the relevant information based upon the query, get the details, and then use the send an email action to respond back to the user, and the details should be sent in a nicely formatted email HTML format. That's my autonomous agent. The device and device request tables in Dataverse, I have a model-driven Power App framed on top of this. The first page is device requests. The second one is devices. That agent is capable of handling questions against this data set. So let's test it out. Sarah is sending an email to the mailbox that can trigger that agent. Right now I've used my mailbox. This can easily be a shared mailbox. A subject, I'll say device request info. In the body, I'll say I need details of all devices. So I've sent this email. This agent, if we track its activity, we can observe all the interactions that have taken place with this agent. Many of them are autonomous. That's based upon the trigger. Sarah has received a response from the agent. These are all the details of the devices. If you enjoyed this video, then do like, comment, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. And thank you so much for watching.